The energy of the rooms we walked into, the places we've been, our experiences, the way people reacted to us, even. These experiences train our brains to expect certain reactions, and if we're not careful, we can carry them into other interactions as well. Hello, and welcome to Stories and Lessons. My name is Amy Ebert, and I'm your host for today's podcast. Welcome back. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like you didn't belong? Like your energy, your ideas, and your passion were met with nothing? Blank stares, skepticism, maybe even outright dismissal. Now, have you also had the opposite experience where you step into a space and suddenly people light up? They lean in, they get you. That contrast, that's not just coincidence. That's the power of the right room, the right message, and the right mindset. And today we're diving into how these three things shape not just our personal brand, but your entire life. First, let's dive into the messaging we tell ourselves. We all have a script running in the background of our minds. Some of it we wrote unintentionally, not consciously, some intentionally, but a lot of it we inherited from our surroundings, the messages we heard growing up from any and all different authority figures, friends, TV, the energy of the rooms we walked into, the places we've been, our experiences, the way people reacted to us even. These experiences train our brains to expect certain reactions, and if we're not careful, we can carry them into other interactions as well. Business, relationships, opportunities in a multitude of arenas. But here's the thing. Not every room is the right room, and not every reaction is a reflection of you. Years ago, I was at a wealth building conference. Huge room, one of those big, just huge conferences. Hundreds of people were there, maybe even thousands. We were given a challenge. Make up a business on the spot, which is kind of fun. Maybe we had 3 minutes to get the concept fleshed out. Pitch it to total strangers, basically, in real time, in the room, and see how they respond. The goal of the exercise, get out of our own heads and practice selling in real time. Get out of our heads and out of our own way. Who here can relate to that? I was pumped. I put together an idea, hyped myself up, and approached my first group. Nerves started creeping in. I dove into my pitch, gave it my all, and blank stares. Low energy. Frowns even. One guy straight up scowled at me. One girl, she looked so angry, just pissed, basically, that I was even standing there following through on the assignment at all. You could practically hear the tumbleweeds rolling by. I started feeling fight or flight mode kicking in. They hate it. To them, I sounded like such a jerk for even thinking I should put a business out in the world. What was I thinking? Maybe I should just quit now. And that is actually the moment most people do quit. Might not even get out of the gate in the first place. But in this exercise, quitting wasn't an option. I had more groups to go to. So I moved on to the next group. A little better, a couple of polite nods. No one was angry, but still no real connection or traction in any way. Then I go to the third group. And something shifted. I barely got the first sentence out when they all lit up. They leaned in. They were excited, ecstatic even. They got it. High energy all around. And not just got it. They needed it. They wanted my business idea right there and then. They were all enthusiastically raising their hands, energetically throwing their credit cards at me. That's when it hit me. Where you stand out matters. If you're in the wrong room, surrounded by the wrong people, you'll feel like you're standing out just to be torn down. And that's no fun. No. But when you're in the right room with the right crowd, standing out isn't something to fear. It's the thing that gets you paid. It gets you the job. It moves you forward. And you know who's a prime example of this? Love him or hate him, Donald Trump. Now remember I said love him or hate him, but you can't deny the man knows how to stand his ground. And he understood the power of standing out in the right room. When he first ran as a Republican candidate, the party's donors and elites didn't want him. They wanted their guy, Jeb Bush. He was their guy. He was polished. He was predictable. He fit the mold. He's a politician from the right family. Trump? He walks in like a wrecking ball, and what happens? Blank stares at best, right? Hostile energy, scowls. He was not welcomed by the establishment because he wasn't doing it for them. He wasn't there to convince the party bosses. He was speaking to the American people. And guess what? The American people lit up. They leaned in, they got him, or maybe he got them. Either way, that's where the syncing up happened. And now he's one of the most popular presidents of all time. Not because he changed his message or himself, not because he tried to fit in, certainly not because he shrank down to nothing, but because he found his right room and ignored the people Didn't get them. That's the mindset shift. Stop trying to win over the wrong crowd. Find your audience, your genuine audience, and when you do, go all in on them. They've been waiting. And this doesn't just apply to pitching an idea. Ever notice how some people drain you while others make you feel like a rock star? That's energy. When you're around the right people, your energy is amplified, your ideas land, your voice carries, your presence matters. And when you're in the wrong room, you'll feel small. You second guess yourself. You think you need to change to fit in. Now, I'm not saying go be a big old jerk and find your right room. That's not fun either. I'm merely encouraging you, if you want to bring something positive into the world and you're getting pushback, try another room. Check out my episode where I talk about Jerry Seinfeld and his story. That's another good one. So that's where a lot of people get stuck, wasting time trying to convince the wrong people. Even then, you might have to still watch out a little bit because some rooms feel too good at first. Ever been love bombed? Not just in relationships, but in business and in networking as well. It's when people inflate you with compliments, making you feel like you're on top of the world, which I love. Who doesn't love that, right? But only so that they can do this to chip away at you and your confidence and control you or shrink you in some crazy way. Like sneaky narcissist types. We don't like that either, right? Sounds amazing at first until suddenly they start dictating how you should think, act, or sell. That's not a supportive community. That's manipulation. A little too much groupthink for my liking. The real right room doesn't need you to shrink, doesn't need you to change. It offers opportunity for your growth. Just sees you, values you, and lets you shine in a way that elevates. So how does all of this connect to your personal brand and on-camera impact? It all comes down to messaging. The messaging you tell yourself, the messaging you project to the world, the messaging the right people actually receive. If you're telling yourself the wrong story, that you're not good enough, that people won't get you, that you have to force people to see your value, then guess what? You'll keep showing up in the wrong rooms, talking to the wrong people, and getting the wrong results. But when you shift your messaging, both internally and externally, everything changes. You stop chasing, you start attracting, you realize you don't have to convince anyone, you just need to be seen by the right audience. Final takeaway. Stand out where it counts. If you take one thing away from today's episode, let it be this. The only thing worse than standing out in the wrong room is quitting before you find the right one. Your job isn't to make everyone like you. Your job is to show up where your people already love you. So here's your challenge. Pay attention to the energy of the rooms you walk into. Being intimidated can be understandable. Shrinking to fit, no. Listen to the messages you're telling yourself. And if you're feeling stuck, ask, am I in the right room? Or am I just trying to survive in the wrong one? Ouch. If this resonated with you and you want to go deeper, I help people refine their message, dial in their right audience, and own their on-camera impact with ease. If you're tired of wasting time on the wrong people, let's fix that. Go to 10xoncamera.com to get on the list for our upcoming masterclass. Let's make sure you're standing out where it counts. That's it for today, friends. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to step into your power, I got you. Until next time, own your space, own your story, and stand out where it matters. Having said that, thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you've got value, why not spread the love by sharing this episode? Subscribe or follow the show, hit the notifications bell so you never miss an episode, and give us a positive 5-star review or a thumbs up, depending on which platform you're currently on. One last thing, be sure to check out my other episodes while you're at it. Thank you for showing up, and be well.